Hello, and welcome to Create with the Library. I'm Mary Baker from the Brunswick Library. Welcome to my messy craft room. But today, we're going to learn to use that old-fashioned craft material, shrink plastic, Shrinky Dinks, to learn to create your own cute, customizable Halloween earrings. Invented in 1973, shrink plastic consists of thin, flexible sheets of polystyrene. It's the same plastic that you see in those clamshell containers that has the recycling number 6 on it. Personally, when I'm heating something, I prefer to use something that's intended to be heated, so I stick with the Shrinky Dink film myself rather than using that. They are flexible until you heat them, and once you heat them, they will shrink to about 1/3 of the original size and 9 times thicker, so they're more rigid, while they'll retain whatever design you put on them. You can get it in clear. In this case, I also have colored. You can get frosted. You can even get Shrinky Dink plastic that you can run through your laser printer. The tools we're using today are pretty limited. You're going to be using your design and the shrink plastic, a black marker to trace your design, whatever you're going to use to color your design. Definitely need a hole punch. You'll need to punch a hole in them so you can turn them into earrings. That has to be done before you put them into the oven to bake. When you do put them in the oven to bake, protect yourself. Make sure you've got a hot pad. I like having the wooden tongs ready just in case I need them. And once we take them on out, we turn them into earrings, we'll be using pliers, some jump rings, and ear wires. And that's all there is to it today. Well, first, you need to create a design. I'm crafty, but I'm not artistic. And I've got a lot of respect for the folks who are. So I like to use artwork that other folks have created and have given me the permission to use. So what I've done is I've gone onto the internet. I've typed in free Halloween graphics. I came up with a list of websites, and I am going to go into this particular one, but you can choose whichever one you would like. Actually, that wasn't the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. There we go. Just see what graphics you find that you like. I happen to like this particular little collection of graphics here. And when I open it up, they give me the permission to download that, which I then did onto my computer. And then I opened up a blank sheet of paper. If you're on a Microsoft computer, you'd be using Word. In my case, I'm on a Mac, so it looks a little different. I'm using Pages. And at that point, I'm now going to insert my graphic that I downloaded. There it is. And it inserts it into the page. Now, the reason I like to drop it into Word rather than just printing it out willy-nilly is that you're using shrink plastic. And you know that your shrink plastic is going to shrink down to approximately 1/3 its original size. So you need to think about what size you'd like your finished product to be. So I thought I would do my earrings so that they would end up being about 1 inch in size. This is going to be my final product. So I'm going to use this lovely little pumpkin graphic, and you can see this is pretty close to this size. I'm not going to be able to get the size I want without cutting and making it a little bit larger. So in this case, it's if I want a 1 inch earring, I'm going to want my graphic to be about 3 inches in size. So I'm going to crop out the rest of this. I'm going to take my little pumpkin, blow it up so it's about 3 inches in size, and I'm going to end up with something that I can use to make my earring with. Once you've set up your design in Word, I like to do a couple of different sizes just in case I haven't got it sized quite correctly. Now, I've done this enough times to know that the 3 inch size is going to work for me. But maybe with your oven or the size you want for your earrings, maybe you want one something a little larger or a little bit smaller. But once you're ready, you're going to put your shrink plastic on top. I like to be able to tape it down to make sure that it's not going to move as I trace, and you're going to trace your design. Think about what you want to have colored and what you would want to have a black outline. In my case, all of this part of the pumpkin that's black, I want to be colored orange. So I'm only tracing the outline of my pumpkin. Once I'm done tracing, you can take it on off and check your design. You can almost guarantee you've missed a line somewhere. The other nice thing about this, oh, I see one that I missed right there, is once you shrink this, it is going to be smaller and it's going to be easier to make any corrections that you want to make. Oh, there's another one. There we go. Okay, so once you have it traced, you need to make any adjustments to it that you want to make before you bake. Once you bake it, you're not going to be able to do much to it other than color it. So the next thing you want to do is cut your pumpkin out. Now I know you know what it looks like to cut, so I'm not going to do too much here, but the other thing that you need to do is we're going to make earrings out of these. So you need to be able to punch a hole in it, and you have to do it now. You cannot do it after you bake. So let me cut away a little bit of this so that we'll be able to get the hole punch in there. So don't need anything special. Just your basic hole punch will work just fine. And you can see my scissors, I don't even have a fancy pair of scissors here, are working just fine to cut this. So make sure that you punch your hole. I'm going to put it kind of right here in the middle. That's where my ear wire will go. So once the entire thing is cut out and your hole is punched, you're ready to bake. One more thing to mention before baking, and that's adding some color. Just like shrinking it will change the size, coloring and shrinking will change the color. It's going to make your color more intense. So if I start coloring my pumpkin, and I am just using a basic marker here, I flipped it over on the opposite side so it doesn't affect my black. This color will then intensify once it gets into the heat. It'll shrink and it will get darker. If that's what you want, that's great. The other thing you can do is wait until after it's shrunk, and then it will not darken. It'll be a lighter color. I've got a couple that I've done. This one I colored after it was shrunk, while this one I colored before it was shrunk, and you can see the difference that it makes. So how do you know if you like it or not? Well, you do a test piece. I always think it's a good idea. So in this case, we've given you enough Shrinky Dink material in your kit to be able to do 3 designs. So you've got 2 that will be your final design, and you've got a test piece. So you can try it yourself and see what you like. So it's all cut out now. I've got my hole punch. I've done a color test on it. Now I really am ready to put it in the oven. We're now ready to shrink our test piece. I like to use the toaster oven. I think that works really well for it. You want to, of course, follow your manufacturer's instructions, but usually they're going to want you to preheat your oven to about 3 to 350. And then you're going to be putting in your piece. It's usually for about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll be able to see it will start to curl. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the video. It will curl, then it should uncurl and flatten back out again. and then it's ready to go. So let's see what you're going to be able to see on this video. I do have my wooden tongs. I'm moving this a little bit more to the front, so maybe we'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I have my hot pad as well, so I'm ready to move this out. Yeah, unfortunately, my toaster oven is so dark, you're not going to be able to see too much of anything. So we're going to kind of speed through this. I'll slow it down if it starts to curl so you can see that. You can see it's already shrunk and it curled a little bit. I'm going to tap that down, put it back on in, just for another few seconds. Not an exact science, I'm afraid. Everybody's toaster oven is a little bit different. The heat settings on toaster ovens are kind of inexact. But there you can go. You can see that it shrunk down considerably from what it was before, and that the orange has gotten darker. Actually, I like that orange a lot. Once your Shrinky Dinks are cool, now you're ready to turn them into earrings. You can adjust the color at this point, color them on the back, add more color. You can take your black marker and highlight things. You could even sand the edge if you want, or take your black marker and use that along the edge to define it a little bit more. But basically, it's ready to be turned into an earring. Now to do that, you're going to be needing a jump ring and an ear wire. I like to use 2 pairs of pliers. I just think that's easier to work with, but you can certainly do it with 1. I'm holding on to the jump ring on either side, and you're just going to pull the jump ring apart. You want to make sure you don't pull up. That's going to deform the ring. You can see it's still a ring even though I've pulled it apart, so it's still keeping its shape when you do it this way. Now, put my little pumpkin on, put my ear wire on, take my other pair of pliers, and I reshape that jump ring. It's almost perfect. A little bit, there we go. That's a little bit better. And now you have your own pretty little Halloween earring. We are going to have kits available for you. You can reserve on the library website. That's www.mcdl.info. We only have a limited number, so we suggest you sign up for them now, and they'll have all of the supplies that you need to make your own set of earrings. Now, what if you want to up your Shrinky Dink game? Well, the library has a wonderful machine that you might want to try. It's called a Cricut. Now, it is located in our makerspace, which is at the Medina Library. It's in the Virginia Wheeler Martin Family History and Learning Center. And in a nutshell, the Cricut will take your design, it'll cut it out for you perfectly, repeatedly, and on many different materials, including on shrink plastic. Now, I won't lie to you, there is a little bit of a learning curve. There's a new file that maybe you haven't used before, an SVG file. There's some new software maybe you haven't used before. But once you get the hang of it, you can create some beautiful designs. Well, thank you for joining us for this edition of Create with the Library. If you have any other suggestions for other episodes, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comments. And also, don't forget to like this and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more new content every week. Finally, if you think this will be a fun project, don't forget we have kits available for you for a limited time. Check our website at www.mcdl.com and reserve your kit. Thanks so much for joining us.